Good morning. My name is Scott Forcino. I'm an associate broker with eXp Realty out of New York City and the metro area. I founded PlugIntro to solve the problem for all business owners where they need to meet more and better referral partners. I'm very happy that I have a friend and the consummate professional John Reinhardt with me today. Dad of twins, scared me with what came down the pike for mine. John is with eXp and the floor is open. John, thanks for coming today.
Hey, thanks, Scott. So nice to see you. And yeah, there's a long road ahead with the twins, but it's a beautiful everyday experience that I've been really enjoying.
It sure is. John's also a beach lover like me. So John, tell us about your long history, your practice, your company, your affiliation with, give it to us, please.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, I've been in the real estate business for over 40 years. So I've seen it all. I've helped to grow a company to a couple hundred agents, the largest in the marketplace in the Brooklyn market area. And then, from there, I've been in every aspect of the business, from advertising, marketing, to representing the company on a national level. I became a national speaker at the different conferences that are out there, the industry conferences. And I spoke on everything from real estate sales to marketing to real estate technology. So many years ago, 20 years ago, there weren't as many real estate brokers and agents involved in technology. I was one of the first in there. So at that time, I was really positioned, and I'm a little older now, but at the time I was old enough to know how to run a real estate operation, but young enough to understand technology. So I was uniquely positioned to introduce some great technology to my company. And today, it's the same. I'm the old school guy using new tools. Old school, new tools. That's my new motto. And I've been expanding that motto to go to expand my business into the Florida area. So I've been doing a new business down there called Sunshine Johnny. And that's what I'm known as. Now I walk into a room and they don't say there's John Reinhardt, there's Sunshine Johnny. And it's been interesting. It's been an interesting ride, Scott. And what I've been doing is helping people to relocate or get a summer home, snowbird type of situation to the Florida marketplace. I was looking to do it myself. And when I went down there, I was really confused. I was like, well, do I want the East Coast? Do I want the West Coast? Do I want Central Florida? Wasn't really sure what I wanted. And my wife and I started, debating and trying to figure this whole thing out. So I figured there was a pain point there. So in order to solve that pain point, I decided to create Sunshine Johnny. And what I do is I have a network of agents all over Florida. I've been to, I think, 35 different cities last year. I'm going to another 20 in the next couple of weeks. And I get to know agents, and I get to know the inside secret, like only real estate agents can tell you about these different marketplaces. And I can help people that are looking to move down to Florida to decide on what is right for them, whatever their lifestyle is, whatever their goals are, whatever stage in life they're at. I can help them with that journey. And that's what I created, and it's been a lot of
fun. That's interesting. But it's such a changing market everywhere. I just was reading today about the maximized prices, but now we're conflicting with interest rates. Have you seen that in Florida as well, the kind of changing aspects?
I think it's slowing down a little bit. I've seen a couple more price breaks than I've seen in the past. I've seen no price breaks in the past, but I think that with the interest rates rising so much and the stock market having its own questionable future. Yesterday, I don't know, that's the timing of this thing airs, but yesterday the stock market plummeted, and we don't know what today is going to be like. But I tell you what, it is affecting the mentality of the people that are looking to buy, and the price of gas is so much, price of loaf of bread is so much that I think it will trickle down and affect. So the prices won't go up as much as they were going up. And we might even see not only a slowdown, but with the interest rates going up and less demand, we may even see some prices leveling off. I'm not sure if they're going to go down, but at least leveling off.
Mm-hmm. When people say prices, it's not a set number. We're dealing with the 40% run up from pre-COVID. So maybe I have a negative view, but this is kind of monopoly money. It wasn't based on anything really. So for it to normalize or come back to the mean to some extent, there was appreciation before COVID, and this just accelerated. So, is that what you tell sellers who are mad about this recent phenomenon of lower prices?
I think, yeah, like you said, it's monopoly money, but I think there will be a correction in some markets. You'll see it already, but you will see corrections all around the country. But the ones that have the demand, because there is still the migration pattern that we look at. And so the demand is still stronger in different parts. So it's readjusting, people working from home more. But yeah, those sellers, if you look at it, look what you could have gotten 3 years ago. Look what you're getting today. It's still great. So if you look at it that way.
Right. I think that way.
Yeah, so do I. So do I. But on
Interesting.
the buyer side, if you're going to buy something for a little less money, and that's great, you're getting enough money and leverage from your existing residents if you're selling, and then you could now put that in and buy up, or buy something in a different area or location with that money that you may not have been able to have enough equity in that house a few years ago. So there's a lot more equity out there today. If your house went up 100,000 in New York, 200,000 in New York, you have 200,000 more equity, and you might not have had that if the market didn't go like that.
Yeah, sure. And that allows for people to move to a warmer climate and lower taxes. There's no state income tax in Florida. I know that. So if you move there, you get a raise.
That's right. That's great. Instantly, I know. That's a nice little carrot that so many people are being attracted to right now, especially
Right.
retiring from New York City, the city workers, the cops, firemen, and teachers, nurses that basically are going to go down there and get their pension and not be taxed on it.
And in New York City, you have the additional, what is it, 2% above the state?
Yep, yeah. State, city, yep.
Those you benefit. Well, listen, there's also the quality of life issue. I spent January to May 2021 there, and I personally had a different state of mind where, living there is better than vacationing there. You don't feel like you have to get everything in and see every site. There were days I stayed inside, it was 85 and sunny, because, and that's what I found. My friends who were here, they say, oh, the difference is really living here. Even if it's a short, snowbirds, the same restaurants, the same friends. Have you heard the same thing where it's just a lifestyle?
Yeah, it is. It is, and that's what's attracting me and my wife and family so much. It's a much better lifestyle, especially in the winter months. Right here with Rockaway, it's going to be great this weekend, and things are really going to be fun. So I think that'll keep the residents here. But I'll also look to go in Florida for most of the year when I can work from home like I am now. You work from home and get your business done. As long as you have soldiers in each of the different marketplaces, I think it's a great opportunity for people to go down there and just start enjoying life. And listen, I first thought it was just for people that are, like myself, 60 years old, and thinking of slowing down a little bit and enjoying life, taking life. We've worked so hard so many years, just taking advantage of the years ahead of us. But I've also found out that I have a lot of friends, relatives that are in their 30s that are saying, you know what, I'm doing it now. God bless. I wish I could have done it when I was 30, right? And
you were boots on the ground at listing appointments all day in those days.
That's right. So so it's changed, but I'm happy to see that some people are saying, you know what, if I'm going to do it, why not now? What do I have to wait for? There's no reason really, and there's ways to do business in both states or in 3 states. I have a place in Pennsylvania. I'm thinking of, doing some business there as well. So it's quite interesting. You don't need to be at the desk in the neighborhood office anymore. So that's enabled us. That's only the real estate business, but you talk about every other business where you just don't need to be in the office anymore. You can work from anywhere. I have a friend that worked in Manhattan. He used to travel back and forth to Manhattan every day. Now they've been working remotely since COVID, and they're staying working remotely. And now they're going down to Florida. They just bought a place over there in Boca. So, beautiful. Good for them. So now their wife, and kids, and all are going down to Florida and enjoying life the way they should.
Yep. Well, you mentioned lifestyle, and there was a time when I started out as a brand new lawyer closing 15, 20 deals a week. I was driving to Smithtown every day from New Rochelle. It was an hour and maybe almost an hour and a half, 3 hours a day. And I thought that's what you do in a career, but that's what it was. And that coming home at 8 o'clock at night, and it was day after day. I was young, but so, you mentioned lifestyle in Florida, and it's not all beaches and spring breakers and old people playing shuffleboard. I was working my tail off, and I know my friends that working their tail off. The difference is the minute that work stops, you're out and doing stuff. My kids are in the pool, or you're having dinner outside. the off hours are better, and that's the real attraction. You still got to work, but the time when you don't, you're not at home just sitting, and that's what the attraction, what I found for myself.
That's beautifully said. Yeah, that's it. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing down there is playing pickleball. Did you ever play pickleball, Scott?
Yeah, I have. I know you're a big pickleball guy. I know
Yeah.
tell us about that. You're like the commissioner of the American pickleball. Let's hear it.
Well, I'm the ambassador for the New York City, Queens area right now.
That's a
But I'll
great
tell you
story.
how it happened. It happened from this same Sunshine Johnny thing. The local college, Kingsborough College in Brooklyn, asked me to be the speaker for their senior webinar, and it was all COVID, so it was virtual, just like this is. And so I got up and spoke about it. But before I did, I asked some of my agents in Florida, what is the biggest attraction for the developers today when they're building new developments? What's the biggest attraction? And she said pickleball. I said, pickleball? What the heck is that?
Me too. I said, what's that?
There's still people out there today that'll say, what the heck is pickleball? So I hung up the phone and I looked around and I contacted a friend. You know what pickleball? Yeah, they have it at the yacht club this Tuesday and Thursday. Why don't you come down and check it out? And I wasn't a member of the yacht club at the time, so I checked it out and I fell in love with it, and I've been playing ever since. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm helping to grow pickleball courts in the New York City area. And that's become like a side business for me now as well. I have the people that are looking to build pickleball courts, convert tennis courts to pickleball.
I've seen some conversions. I drove by one yesterday in New Rochelle. I'm like, what? And they're cutting them up. And I saw in Jupiter, they built a beautiful park. I forgot the name, Clark, something, Claren. I forgot, right by the water. I mean, the blue, the green, they really built beautiful courts.
Yeah, it's nice, and that's great. So that's one of the things too. So if anybody's watching this and knows anybody who's a tennis court, they want to convert it. Man, I'm all ears, because I've got some great developers, and there's lots of money going in all around the country that to do this. And the first U.S. Open for pickleball is happening next week right here in New York City at the Billie Jean King Center.
Really? What is that? Is that Memorial Weekend?
Yeah, it is. Right. Yeah. So
what day? Because I'll go to that.
Yeah, I'm over there. I'm at the ambassador's tent. So come Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it's the first one in the country.
Is that where the U.S. Open is? Right?
It is. It's the USA Pickleball Open. So it's great, and it's just gaining notoriety in the area. So it's all over. Like you go to Florida, everybody knows what it is.
I hope it isn't the same price as the U.S. Open to get in.
No, I don't even think it's a big price at all. I mean, it's easy. I think it's maybe $20 or something.
Oh, because you know what the U.S. Open tickets are. I mean, it's zeros.
If you get it.
If you get in, it's thousands. It's crazy. So, John, I mean,
right now it's easy, but in a couple of years it'll be just like.
I know. Well, let's grandfather our prices in.
Right.
I wanted, I know you made the big move from a huge. I know you were being modest, but I know Fillmore was a huge company, and still is. Tell me, I mean, what made you join EXP, and how have you found it, and what are the differences and what are the opportunities within EXP, please?
Yeah, well, basically I turned 60 years old, and I'm looking towards going to Florida and slowing down a little bit. And my old responsibility running the company, was great, and it was a great benefit, and one of the things I'm most grateful for in my life, to have that opportunity to work there. But there comes a time when you don't want 175 agents calling you up on the weekends and doing the day-to-day brokerage business. Which if you run a brokerage, and your clock doesn't shut off just because it's Saturday or Sunday. So I said, let me do this. And I've been traveling more down south. And I want to enable the ability to work from my house and the ability to work from wherever I am. And this is set up. The EXP model is perfectly set up for this, that I could work from my house and I could do my own business. I'm growing my own team. I have 25 agents on my team now, and I'll have, hopefully a couple hundred agents in the next couple of years on my team. And then as I'm in Florida, I could still work them back and forth, help them out. Just like we speak now, I help agents all the time. I help an agent the other day get a listing in Brooklyn Heights, $4 million listing. I went down there with them, and it looks like a great deal, and we might even have a buyer for it already. So this is a new agent, just started. I knew her for 20 years in the industry, in the Chamber of Commerce and all things like that. And I knew she'd be a great candidate for real estate. We spoke about it, and she came on board, and she goes, well, I have all these connections, but I don't know how to get the listing. That's why you have me. So I can help her to now, use those connections and the work that we've done all these years, just not that you do it as a job, but you've just made so many great relationships. It's like we became friends years ago. We love seeing each other today. So there's those same types of feelings that you have being in a chamber or being involved in some other bit.
Mm-hmm.
Why not, help them out and help them to sell their properties? And like this one property for this agent would be fantastic. You just think about that.
Sure. That's the way to start a career, right?
Yeah, right. So you just started, and but if she went on her own, it would be a big challenge. Not that she wouldn't be able to do it, but it would be a big challenge. But then
she can't please the client like you can. It makes sense to bring in the authority.
So you bring somebody in there that's been doing it for 40 years, and they have the confidence, and they, and it's a great relationship. And it's, I said, look, all you got to do is give me the leads, give me the contacts. I'll go on the appointments with you. Working on the same team now. So I'll go on the appointment with you. We'll lock it up, and then and that's how it happens.
Yeah, I know that because I've been with EXP over 2 years, and it's really no competition. It's really support and collaboration for our mutual benefit, and that's something that the industry really needs to know. And especially if someone like you could be attracted to the model and offer the same benefit to others, I think your team's going to be 500 people based on you and your momentum.
Thank you, and I hope that it is, and I bet that it is, and so my goal would be more than 1,000, but not in 2 years, and be realistic as well. But it does double and double and double. I have friends of mine that started out and they had 20 agents like I have today, and it became 50, and then 100, then 200, then 500. Then it just happens, and that's how it works.
There's a little bit of the former criticism of AXP, it's just recruiting, but I kind of laugh at that because recruiting has been part of the industry always, and the only difference is it was an office manager or broker owner who would. Now you're empowering others to gain. It's just such a simple model to understand. I don't know where there's any issue.
There is no issue. And I'll tell you, that's exactly right. We always did it. I did it in my old company. I'm doing it today. But what is great about this, the feeling that you get when you do it with EXP, I'm giving them a great opportunity to make more money, a better split, residual income on everybody that they attract to the model, and the stock. And let's not talk stocks today, but the stock, I'll tell you what, if you add my stock that I've gotten over the last few years, and if you add my split, I made 120% split last year for my first full year out of the other company. But you can't get it because I made the residual income on the agents. I made my split, which goes to 100% in no time. Like for that agent, her first deal done. 100%. So, but you add it all up, and then plus I had great training, great support, great people like yourself, like my mentor in the business, Kyle Handy, who got me involved with it. But everybody's on the same page, and they took me, the old school guy. They took me to the next level because now I have a YouTube channel. Now I'm doing more other direct email marketing campaigns, and now I'm doing so many things that I never did before. Partially because I didn't have the time to, but now, what am I going to do? I'm an old dog. Am I going to learn any new tricks? But you can, and the great thing about this is you're talking to people that have been doing it successfully and are earning a tremendous amount of money, not just some pie in the sky thing. The guy will show you his bank account, and you'll see that this is how it was last year. This is how it is this year. And this is what he's predicting for next year, and so they have a proven path. And if you take that proven path and you have the guidance and support and someone to kick you in the butt when you're not doing it and someone to correct you when you're going a little off the track, then, why not? It's duplicatable. Why not?
I totally, the feeling I had for the first time, and I've been started closing loans as a lawyer in 97 and broker's license. And then I'm independent, been in other companies, but I tell you, and I've been attending these conferences that, when I went to the most recent one, which was just last month, it felt such a great spirit to see people who were all in this together. It was you did not feel in any way alone. You're included, whether it's a social drink or there's a common interest. And I think the recognition is that anyone can possibly or does bring a lot to the table. And the real, I'm a social guy, and if the spirit of camaraderie, I've never felt until now.
Oh, that's great. I feel the same way.
It is. And and you were mentioning before about networking, that's key to everyone's success. I will tell you, and I want to hear what you think. Well, trust is under attack because we are 56 and 60 years old. And all the money, all the venture capital, all the technology is trying to disintermediate the consumer from the professional. You don't need your neighbor for an agent because you go to Zillow at midnight, press on someone's face and your zip code, and you get connected to one, and they're jumping over the ottoman to get to the phone. So that way, the Super Bowl commercial of Rocket Mortgage bringing consumers on an app on their phone to the direct provider. Now, if you think about it, there's no money being put into personal relations. There's no money being put into trust-based referrals. They're also, you're countering every, younger person. I'm Gen X. I'm the end of Gen X. People in this new 20s, 30s, or even 40s. Think about it, John. Everything's on the phone. You want, Airbnb, you want Uber. It's just natural. Or Carvana, a car comes to your house. Could you have imagined before haggling and then walking out of the dealer and then give me the rust proof and all the BS that goes with it? It's gone. You order a Honda in this color, it comes to your house. And Grubhub, you're lazy, you want a sandwich. All delivery. Look at COVID. That delivery exploded. Restaurants that never delivered, it delivered. So now you're telling people to go into a scary situation. You know everything about it. The bankers you deal with know everything about it. And you've referred business to each other. So it's a matter of really, really understanding that each of us has value. And that's where the entire point of PlugIntro is to cultivate the reciprocity. It's not about me. It's about this video is yours. You'll share with the people that you want to know, but you're also, much more importantly, giving them the opportunity to gain and to benefit by sharing their content and their business platform and their opportunities with their contacts. I mean, it's a local business. All you've heard of is, support local, support local. Well, if trust is under attack, we have to really strengthen our relations, because the next generations of 37 and 41-year-olds may not appreciate that it comes from, you can only serve a client with someone who really knows what they're doing. I have a lawyer I deal with foreclosure defense. Man, the guy's amazing. 71 years old. He's a professor. I could give him anybody, and he ties up the banks. He ties up the courts. And if you need to, you're going to lose your house, you want this guy. And he's a nut. He will just razzle dazzle, and these banks, that's what you want, right? Look at your daughters, my daughters, you want to give them the right orthodontist, the right anything.
Well, you're 100% right. And it is word of mouth. And 100% of my business is word of mouth. Not less than that. It's 100%. Every deal I get is from people that I know over these years. I've established relationship with. They trust me. They know that I do the right thing, and then I'm 1,000% above board. And I think that's the same thing. So if they ask me, I just moved into town, which dentist would you recommend? And I'll say, Dr. Sinesi, he's the best dentist in town. So they take my trust instead of just going randomly or looking through a yellow pages of the guy that has the bigger ad. That doesn't work. It's a honest to goodness, warm introduction from somebody that I know. And I'm not going to recommend somebody that is not going to do the right thing for people. If I'm going to recommend a contractor, if you can get one to work for you today, I'm going to recommend a contractor that I know, that I've used, that I trust, that does a fair price. It's not going to,
And look what a resource that makes agents. Now an agent is a magnet. Instead of broadcasting, to the people they know about how great they are, like you see on these social media posts, I make a real important distinction that when you look at the social media posts, they are really trying to attract attention. And they do. The fancy watches, the long post, the video, it attracts attention. But look at the attention you've earned. You've earned attention by offering others a real benefit. Dr. Sinesti, the clients you serve, the referrals you've made. You pick up the phone, I know they're calling you back immediately.
Yep.
Because of that relation that you created.
And I think that's what's important to understand. And that's why PlugIntro is such a great opportunity, because, you're introducing somebody to something or someone that and they're going to do the right thing. Because if they mess up, if someone that I recommend messes up, I'm not going to use them again. Right, Scott? I'm not going to tell someone else to go to them. So they do the right thing.
And that's it.
Hold them accountable instead of an ad in the yellow pages or an ad in your local newspaper. Oh my God, I saw the ad in the paper. What are you gonna do then? This way they're going to say, you know what, I'm going to tell John, and
And
John's
you
going
don't
to
want
say,
to
you
call
know
a
what,
1-800 number
right,
when
right.
when you're calling an online lender or you're calling someone that there's no one to speak to. That's so frustrating. We're on the way to a holiday weekend. Try to deal with an 800 number, whether your loan is clear to close. Come on, it never could happen.
So I'll tell you a quick story. So I recommended a mover once, right? And it was in one of those brownstones in Brooklyn, and they had a piano. The piano, the guys moved, dropped it. They dropped the piano, and this guy was like pissed off. I'm sorry if I can't say that online, but they were really frustrated. And then they contacted me. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I said, let me call. I called the movie company, called the owner of the movie company up on his cell phone. I said, what are we gonna do here? He goes, don't worry about it. I'm gonna do the right thing. Ended up that the piano was not only fixed, repaired, restored, better than new, and tuned up. And the guy was like, oh my God, I'm so glad it fell down the stairs because it's much better than it was. So it depends on how you look at it, and depends on how you take care of things. But it's those relationships that you can count on, and that's why we're so valuable. And you mentioned this, Scott, but we are valuable more than just finding the house, and there's so much more to it. Get the right mortgage. And there's one thing that I found in the past, and one of my clients said to me one day, it's not the fact anybody can find a house on Zillow or something like that. But you know what it is? We negotiate the deal, we make it happen, and we get the best deal possible. But when something goes wrong, if you're in contract and something happens, and someone tries to do something that's not 100% right, and it's messing up your transaction, that's when we count. It's like if I was going for, I was talking about the dentist before, but you can go online right now, with Google and all of these great YouTubes. You can find out how to fill your own tooth. You can even
Oh
buy
man.
the drill online. You can buy the stuff to fill your cavity with online. But are you going to do it? No, no. So why would you do that? With everything else. Let me go to somebody who I know, who I trust, because when something goes wrong, that's when you need them. If you're in open heart surgery, you can get any doctor to do it. But when something goes wrong, you want someone who has the experience, the knowledge, and the ability to act, react, and get the job done properly. That's what you want.
Mm-hmm. Well, the main focus of PlugIntro, which I created, and I said to myself, wait a minute, I do not have enough people to talk to. If I had 50 sellers in a room, people would pick me, but I don't have 50 sellers in a room. And if I had a way to distinguish themselves from others, I ask people all the time, what do you provide your clients or your referral partners? And no one really has an answer. Provide is the key word I use. And they say, I give great service. And I say, of course you give great service, but you only give great service inside a deal. What makes you the magnet when you're not in a deal with someone? So for a lender, what do you provide agents? And now lenders can provide agents, and I made up this term, a digital position. You have a digital position. If we're not giving away digital positions where someone can gain, like in your case, hosting a platform, or any member that you invite can really essentially maximize their local exposure. If you're not spending some time on Facebook when you're on Facebook anyway, by just inviting people to gain and benefit, then what are you doing? And it's not a steak dinner. It's not a Broadway show. It's you're giving them a place where they may or may not benefit. And they look great. You look great by doing so. And I mean, why not create that positive impression and impact?
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and it's fun too. So, John, I mean, thank you for coming today. I want to just, we're going to begin our series. We're going to cultivate our audience. What's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, so you can get me on my cell phone, 718-550-0761, 718-550-0761, or look me up. I'm Johnny at sunshinejohnny.com.